Hey everyone, Søren and Giorgio here, with our first devlog since starting our channel.
It's been almost a year since we started work on Heli.os, and sadly, not all that time went into development of the game itself. We had to spend a semester making our thesis, which was no small feat, and we also had to spend around 2 months working on applications for funding for the game itself. Despite all these detours though, we made great progress, and we're happy to show you what's new, what's next, and some exciting updates to look forward to in the future.
If you have been following our journey, you've already seen the component and the journal system in action, but those are huge and deserve their own individual videos. For now, let's focus on some other core areas. We'll be talking about how we made a better character controller, graphical improvements, and finally, smarter and better enemies for our game. Let's break it down.
Let's start by talking about the player controller, which is where everything starts. It's the core of the game feel for Heli.os and how it's going to play out whenever we hit the release. For now, the player controller features some early animation, and it's also capable of all the movements that we envision for it in the game, like for example dashing and vaulting over objects. But of course, this didn't come without its quirks. Even with all of these features, the character controller feels solid and intuitive. Despite it being a work in progress, we're very proud of the result. We have built everything from the ground up, and this allows us to have the highest degree of freedom in manipulating the character movement. And this very degree of freedom is going to come in very handy in the future, as we plan for many components to directly affect the movement of the player in all sorts of ways.
Visually, Heli.os has come a long way from the grey box environments and placeholder models. I dove straight into the deep end, animating and modeling the main character. Especially getting the face to look human was one of the most tricky things I've done in a long while, but we're pretty happy with where it ended up. Every in-game component now has its own unique model. This not only makes the game world seem so much more vibrant, but it also makes it much more fun for us to test out the builds and see the components in action. Plus, we can't wait to hide secrets in the designs of these components for players to find. Also, I've started working on environmental assets and building level layouts, and seeing these things come together is such a morale boost. It's starting to feel like the world we've imagined all along.
Let's talk enemies. They've been getting smarter. While Søren was hard at work, creating environmental assets and level layouts, I've been working on the enemy AI to get them to be smarter and more fun to play with. We have tried several approaches, but after updating to Unity 6, we have started using their new AI behavior tree system, and that's been a great fit. So far, we have fully upgraded one enemy to the new system and added additional behavior that was not there yet. For example, now enemies can alert each other when they spot the player, and they can reposition intelligently after every attack based on their attack patterns. Just to say, ranged enemies and melee enemies will of course behave different in this way. Furthermore, creating custom nodes that hook up to our existing systems has been very easy, and everything works seamlessly.
Our next big milestone is playtest starting February. To do this, we need a full gameplay loop. This is important as we want to figure out how players would actually play the game and what we can do better. Once the core systems are in place, we'll be focusing on level generation, sound design, as well as improving the player experience. There's definitely a lot to tackle, but we are excited to push forward and share our process with you.
If you want to stay in the loop and have all the latest updates about the development of Heli.os, feel free to subscribe to the channel and join our Discord server. You can do so at ourdiscordserver.com. We know that sounds funny, but that will send you straight to our Discord server. We're very active on there, so if you have any question about the game, please feel free to ask it and we'll happily answer. And lastly, please feel free to leave any words of encouragement, feedback, or advice about the game, because we take it all very much into consideration. Thank you very much.
That's all we have to show today, but we can't wait to see you next Friday, where we'll be releasing yet another video.
Goodbye.
Thanks for watching.
That's nice. That was
cool.
Good.